This is Tara. Wait, can you see me? Okay, I'm good. Okay, we're good now. How are you?
Hey, what's up?
I don't know. Like, hold on. I'm gonna make it blurry because I want you to see me. I don't know. But the sky is up. I don't know. So much. I'm sweaty because I was like, I gotta go, Kenny. I gotta go. And I ran here because he talks a lot. We're good.
That happens. That happens. I'm so excited for this interview. Hello, and welcome to Changed for the Better, the Power of Arts in Education, episode 26.
I'm Stacy Tiro, a high school performing arts teacher for over 25 years. I've taught a lot of amazing people. Now that so many of my students are adults, they'll teach me how, through the lessons in my classroom, they have been changed for the better.
This gorgeous creature that is speaking with me today, she is charming and quirky and hilariously funny. And those are just a few words to describe my love here. Using her quick wit and abundant energy, she would, back in high school, infuse life and comedy into every character she portrayed. She was like a dopey gangster in The Drowsy Chaperone and the all-powerful, vulnerable Wiz. She had impeccable timing, and she loved creating characters with dimension. In her senior year, during that show, which was In the Heights, that amazing show that we did, I saw her taste for character development peak as she played the role of Camilla with a grace and a depth that made me realize then that this young woman had some real potential for success in the performing arts. Now, whether or not she would pursue that potential, of course, was completely up to her, but the spirit and the talent was certainly there. She also took dance for all 4 years. And she later told me refusing to participate in gym class.
I'm not gonna do it, no.
So gym class is lost, my gain. Okay, great. She graduated in 2014, right after In the Heights. And with college, she kind of had a little bit of a setback because where she was enrolled at the time, she kind of realized that that school was not the right fit for her. So she went out and worked for a year and then regrouped and enrolled in the prestigious Circle in the Square Theater School in 2015, right on Broadway in the heart of Times Square. So she spent 2 years learning what it takes to have a career in professional theater, film, and television. So she decided to move forward with it, which I was like, yay. Of course, it's one thing to have all those skills and that talent. It's another to actually live the struggling artist saga of barely eating, working 3 jobs while you're trying to land your big break and not fall apart. She did get her first big break in 2019 when she landed a role in her off-Broadway debut at Pips Island. She performed there for about a year, give or take, and then decided to relocate down south to Atlanta to really pursue her on-screen dreams. That's kind of where she really wanted to go. So she packed up, moved down south, and about a week or so later, the world shut down.
There we are.
Because that's how life goes.
Yep.
Miles from Broadway, she is now making that transition from theater to the film world happen. She's gotten her feet wet in a couple of on-screen projects and has a small featured role in the upcoming feature film, Lyle Lyle Crocodile, which is coming out this fall. I couldn't be more proud to see her actively pursuing those dreams and actually getting paid for it. She's got representation too, which is like, how do you do that? She seems to be doing pretty well now. In June, she was profiled in Voyage ATL, where she talks about her journey from beginning to now, and how she is now pursuing her dreams, which is incredible. So after all that, I'm going to let you talk. So first question is, what's your name, the year that you graduated, and just tell me a little bit more about where you are now.
Hi, Miss Tiro. I'm Michaelle, everyone. I've been honored to be on this wonderful show. I know it's going to do so much for so many people. I am the class of 2014, as you said. I'm so old. And right now, as you said, I am in transition. It's been pretty tough because of the pandemic and all the changes that had to come with the entertainment industry, of the rules of COVID, and so many things are so different now. And you gotta be on the ball game. Mm-hmm. I'm here. I have joy. Everything's going smooth now. As I told you, we scheduled to do this last week, but I told you I had a commercial in Vegas. So that was something, being there. But everything's been going pretty smooth and well, I can say.
That's fantastic. I love that. In high school, when kids are in high school and they love the performing arts and they really, really get entrenched and involved, I'm so excited because then I get to collaborate and work with, sort of like minds, people who are in that creative spirit. And when they start to entertain the idea of, I'm going to be a pro, I'm like, ooh. Not because I don't think that they'll succeed, but because I know
it's hard,
how hard that life is. And you really have to be mentally in the right place. You'll have to have your resources around you to be able to support yourself, because it's not linear. It doesn't go in a straight line ever. Right. And so, when I heard that you were going to Circle in the Square, I was like, yay. Oh, I was so dual-minded about it, because I was so excited that somebody with so much talent was doing it, making it happen. But I knew it was going to be, a struggle. And it is, and it has been, and I know you'll talk about that. But there's that piece of me that's like, yay.
So interesting to hear that from you, because you're not the only person I've heard that from, for my life at least. Sure. I've heard many people say, I was worried for you, Michaelle, but then I had a piece I think she's gonna be good. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna work out for her some way, somehow. And that gives me, I'm not gonna cry, but that gives me peace, wow, so others see it too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No, you're not the only one. And when you're in your own head, in your quiet space, I get it. Your brain does all sorts of terrible things and tells you all sorts of awful things. And sure. But yes, just know that the world around you, the people who you have come across and who love you, we're behind you 100% all the way. Just know that. Definitely. So we're going to move forward and we're going to go to question 2. So this is, we're taking your adult brain, right?
Yes.
Your 20-something, mid-20s adult brain. And you're going to describe your adolescent self.
First off, I'm going to take off this blur. I don't like it. It's ugly. So I'm just going to do that. I'm sorry. I just had to take that off. I was like, it's ugly. Oh, okay, you can see me again. I can say that we're going to explain my adolescent brain, right?
Your adolescent brain, your adolescent self, who you were in high school. Yeah.
I was a hot mess. And you can attest to that. And it's okay, be real. I was a hot mess. And that is okay, because through that mess, which I knew you and some others, you saw through even my own even circle in the square said there was a bunch of energy and they needed to know how to hone that some way somehow, and you knew how to do that with my adolescent brain some way somehow. Like, okay, this is a lot. I was very impulsive. I didn't use many of my cognitive skills. I saw life through, when you're not an adult, you see life through a certain lens. And not to say, I was, you're naive in a lot of places in life, no matter what age you are. But, when you're a child, when you're growing up, there is a sense of innocence and shelteredness, if that makes sense. And so when you go into the world, it smacks you. It literally does. I don't care what you say. It smacks you in the face. And that's good. That's good. It's good to grow in that regard. But yeah, I was a hot mess. But through the hot mess, there was something there to form into some kind of shape. That makes sense.
Yeah. So Michaelle, I wouldn't want to describe her as a hot mess, but I see where you're getting that. When I described her as like this abundant energy, it was like just radiating from her soul. And maybe that's processing all the stuff that you're going through, at home and in your personal life. And because you had all that energy, you needed to channel it somewhere. And I think that that's why the theater stuff was really good for you, because it gave you that focus. And so me as a director, having this, really talented, but like bouncing off the walls kind of kid, I was able to go, hey, let's look at this thing right here.
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
Right here. And that's a mindfulness thing, right? That's like sort of learning how to be present, learning how to just be in the space where you are, and all the other stuff it's going to be there, but it stays on the outside. Your energy was really great for me because it woke me up and I think woke up everybody around you. Maybe they didn't know what to do with it, but I certainly think it elevated other people to say, oh, wow, she's really good. So maybe I need to like step it up just a little bit. So I think it was a two-way street of benefit. So let's bring you back into the studio, the rehearsal process, performing, the theater, all of those places. And tell me, what was something that happened or things that happened that helped you to manage or regulate that sort of wildness in your adolescence?
Oh man, there are a lot of things to manage that. I know for a fact it really still is creating. I think that's just ingrained in me. It just brings me somewhere that I don't think anyone can ever take me out of. I know you and some other teachers helped level me and humble me, which is good. You need that, especially in this day and age. You need people like that. I had my family, of course. And it's weird because I'm going to say this because I probably didn't portray it as much, but I did have much of a faith. I am a Christian. And so, but that did hone me like in the characteristics of, you got to know how to radiate, Michaelle. You got to know when to be humble and know when to be kind and know how to have apathy and sympathy with others. I was already trying to train that up in me at a young age. Those characteristics. I wasn't perfect, clearly, but if anything, I always had that mindset of focus. You have a goal. I think you can attest to that. I was one of those kids. You never heard me talk about boys or relationships. I wasn't, because that wasn't my passion. In a way, it still isn't. There's that. It's like an Olympian. Like as a child, it was like, you have a goal. Here's this goal. You got to make it. You got to do that. And having Haitian parents, having them come and migrate to this country and hearing them say to you, constantly remind you, we're here for you. We came here for you so you can have an opportunity, so you can lift up the family name. And that plays in your mind endlessly, especially as you get older. So that's playing in my mind every day as a kid. And so like okay, here's a goal. Whatever you do, you gotta stick to this goal. Don't get distracted. You're distracted. Okay, get back. Here's this goal. You gotta stick to this goal. The arts itself regulated me at my adolescent mind. Literally, it did.
Mhm.
Stick to this goal.
Mm. How did your parents respond when, let's like sort of bring it back into high school, when you were so involved in the performing arts? Like, how did that sort of balance out, or did it balance out, especially with the Haitian culture, which may not be as
Ideal.
supportive of the arts?
Well, my parents, they always knew I
Mhm.
was this expressive child and I can, sing, dance, whatever. So they were happy.
Okay.
It's weird. There are days they were like, can it happen? But there are days they're like, no, I do believe it'll happen. Because she's not like other kids. She's different and she's focused. They always said that to me. They're like, you're not like other kids, you're different. And we can tell you really, really want this. Like you made this your life. I did at some point. I did, but there were very positive responses when I was adolescent.
Yeah. And so when you decided Circle in the Square, moving to Atlanta, all of these things, same idea?
When they saw that it was outside, like now becoming an adult or career, they started to antennas rising up, because there were opportunities that I had as a kid to be in the entertainment industry. And those were kind of like, that didn't pan out, or my parents were just like, no, she's not doing that. There was also that side. My mother was very, very, still is overprotective. And so she didn't know much about the industry, but she also was like, I don't want my child in that, at least not before 18. I want her to be a kid. And so there were things that were brought up to me as a child and they said no, or they didn't understand it. When I became 18 and, at Circle in the Square and all that, they were really iffy. Not so much for my well-being, because my parents, they're still like this. They're like, no matter what you go through, Michaelle, it always turns out well for you. So we're not worried about that. We're just worried. We just want you, whatever this industry throws at you, you'll be fine. Because we know, we hear, we see the stories when you're young. And that's always been my mom's thing. My dad is just like, go ahead. When I was going to school for it, he was like, he just believes in me so much. So, but my mother was just like,
yes, and
yeah, you don't have to go in the industry. You could be a nurse. You could be a lawyer. It's safer. You get money, eat quicker. No one's gonna hurt you as much. The world won't this, the world won't that. They won't know your business. I was like, Mommy, but this is my destiny. This is my purpose. Like, and I know you know that. She's like, I know, but I don't want it.
No, look, as a teacher, I'm the same way. Like, it's a yes and kind of venture, right? Yes, it's your passion. Yes, all of that. And oh God, it's just so hard.
Yeah.
So many reasons.
Yeah.
But
and I knew that.
Yeah.
I knew that.
Yeah. And listen, you're smart. So you take that knowledge and go, yes, and this is what I'm gonna do to shield myself and to through it. So what are some of the lessons that you learned, back in high school, in the studio and rehearsals and dance class, whatever, that you actually think about or use today?
So there was this time, and I'll never forget this day. This has to deal with you, Mr. Perez. I think there was one other person. At the time, it was widely known, like, who was pretty good at this musicals or whatever. And I was like, okay, I know I'm pretty good. I was very confident. So much so I was overly confident, where there was an audition for In the Heights. And I don't know why, but my brain was like, we're gonna bomb this because I want this role. I don't know why I thought in the real world you can do that. I don't know why. I was a little, okay, thump me in the next. Thank you, Miss Tiro. Yeah, who are you, kiddo? Because we had this audition, and I know, like, everyone thought I was gonna be like one of the funny character, one of the funny characters, and I was like, no, I'm gonna bomb the audition. So Miss Tiro, Miss Perez can see, like, they're gonna be like, what's wrong with her? And then give you the, let me, And you and Mr. Perez was like, I didn't expect that response. You were like, what are you doing? And I was like, I don't wanna, I was such a brat. I don't wanna play that role. I wanna play this role. I wanna be this role. And you were like, you can't do that in the real world. You can't just say, I wanna play this role. You can't just bomb it on. When you bomb an audition, you bomb the audition. That's it. That's the end of you, honey. And, well, you didn't say the honey, but you were like, you're letting me know, like, you can't do that.
Right.
And that stuck with me. Like, oh, I can't do that. Like, you can't do that, Michaelle. Like, no one knows who you are when you go in that room. You show them what you have. And at the end of the day, the cards will play out. But you don't go in the room bombing audition, expecting them to let you try out for another audition and then you're gonna just book it up. Can't do that. That stuck with me till this day. And so ever since then, I was like, I really want this audition. I'm gonna do the best I can. Whatever they think of me, I will give them the best I have, and the cards will play out.
Well, good. I'm glad I didn't destroy you. I'm glad.
No, you did not. No, it propelled me.
Good. Yeah, it's so funny. High schoolers they're so funny. And that's why for years I have hated cast list day. Like, I'd put the cast list up and then I go hide. Like, I don't want to deal with you people. I don't want to know from all the crying and the, because I'm like, you have no idea. I'll just see you on the first day of rehearsals. You decide whether you want to do this or not, and we'll move forward, because adolescence, man, those brains, those unripe brains.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just like, stop already. But I'm glad that you took that to heart, and now you're just bringing the best of yourself to everything that you do. So
yeah, literally everything. We don't pout and say, I want this. No, we just make lemonade out of the lemons. Okay,
Yeah.
That's what you gotta do.
Yeah, and let me tell you, I think when we decided to put you in as Camilla, because Camilla's she's not that like uber funny. She has a couple of like, a little couple zingers, it's like that sort of nuanced, under the radar, kind of humor, but she's a pretty serious character, and she drives some pretty serious things in the plot. And I was like, I want to see what this kid can really do. Because
and I think that was the other thing, because I expressed, I wanted to show you, Miss Hero, I don't want to just do funny. I want to play something serious. You took that into consideration as well. Like, oh, okay, here we have something. Like, she doesn't want to just play funny, but I don't want to just give her what she wants as well. I want to see what she can do. And I think that sparked something in you as well. Because like you said, like, okay, there's something, because she doesn't want to just play the stereotype all the time. Because I didn't.
Right.
I did not.
Yeah. Well, and that just shows the real creative spirit in you, that it's got dimension, it's got depth, and yeah, the funny's there, and that's sort of like the easy natural thing, but you have a rich inner life too that you want to dig into. So I was and you were admittedly, you were very powerful. I mean, you were powerful in whatever you did, and you were commanding, and the attention was kind of drawn into you. But in that role, I remember like sitting there, and I get kind of absorbed in, when the kids are doing performances, especially during the show. Like, rehearsals are one thing, but during the show, when I'm sitting in the back and I'm like feeling with them, and I'm like, and I just remember feeling that this is a mother with a husband who's hurting and worried, and I was like, she's probably channeling her own mom here. Yes, that's the great stuff there.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
Doing the best I could.
Oh, you did. You always did. Okay, so let's now look at yourself from high school now to now. How have you changed since you graduated high school?
So much. Life does that to you, which is I say it's good. You know, if you stay the same way, that's a problem.
Mm.
I use my cognitive skills now.
Use my
I
big
love
brain.
saying that. I love it so much more. I'm less impulsive, as like telling people. Like I'm more impulsive when it comes to like acting choices, but like life in general.
Mhm.
I think things out more. So I try to think of, well, what are the repercussions of this if I do this? Life does that. Life does that to you because as you get older, you get more responsibility. You're not under your parents anymore. You start thinking for yourself. And at some point, you know, when you get married, and you have a child, you start thinking for them. So it's I'm not married, I don't have a child yet, but I'm at that point. I'm 26, but I'm at that point. I know, oh my gosh, but from 18 to 26, man, you grow a lot. Life threw so much at me, but like I said, I've always managed some way somehow to take the, you know, make the lemonade, because you're gonna have to. I've learned life is always gonna have problems and you can't control that. So what do? Yeah, there is a time to weep, but there's also time to rejoice. Even if it looks bad, you gotta some way somehow make lemonade out of it. And I've learned I have to, even if I'm at my lowest in such despair, some way somehow we're gonna have to get out of here. And I wasn't, you know, like that before.
In that time, that 18 to 26, 30, 40, whatever, I think you start to discover how resilient you are and how much strength, inner strength that you really have, that I don't think you're not challenged. Most people aren't challenged that way in their adolescence because they have the support underneath them of their parents, their families, their teachers,
Yeah.
and stuff. And then when you're kind of like released into the world, whether it's, you know, college or working or whatever, and suddenly you don't have that support in your inner circle, let's say, in your inner sphere, that's when you have to rely on yourself and discover just how strong you actually are. I think you're pretty strong too.
I didn't think I was, but you know, up until the recent years, I was like, wow, you know, you think you go through some things in life, you think to yourself when you get out of it, you're like, wow, I should have been dead, but you're not, you know, you really powered through there.
Yeah. Taking all of the stuff that you have learned in your 20s,
Yeah.
what would your adult self tell your high school self now to help ease the way?
What I would tell my high school self is, Michaelle, you're gonna go through some things. You're gonna go through some high of the highs, high mountains, and you're gonna go through some low valleys. But know that while you're in the fire, it feels like you're getting burned, you will not come burned. You will come out refined, brighter each time. Don't lose hope, Michaelle. Yeah.
That's good. And we're going to get to the sage advice question in a little bit. All of that struggle, right, that you've gone through, and now you've come to sort of a smoother place for the moment, right?
Yeah.
What is something that you're grappling with now?
Oh, I feel like there's so many things. I think the one that's hard for me, and it's been like that since I was 14, I don't know why, it's aging. It's aging. Yeah, because aging for me, it's like I told you, when I was a kid, there was a goal. I think I know, you know, like the industry, as the older you get, and when you're a woman, they're like, okay, throw her away, you know. That has a lot to do with it. But just I didn't think I'd live to this age, honestly. I really didn't think I'd live to 26. I thought I'd live at most 20 or 21.
Really?
Yeah, when people like hear that, they're like, why? I said, I don't know. I just didn't see life past those ages. Like, I kind of, class of 2014, 15, we were like the beginning of what this generation is now, like social media and seeing everyone get famous off of all these social media platforms.
Right.
And that's a mind game, man. Like seeing that. And like I said, coming into play, immigrant parents reminding you, you are our tickets. And seeing that at such a young age, that plays with your mind. And the older you get and you don't see yourself at that stage, you're like, there's no life. I thought at the age of 20, I should have already had a movie, bought my parents a really nice home, and then get married, have a kid, and die at 21. I don't know why. My brain already made that. It's like, that's what's gonna happen. And when I was 20 and I didn't see none of that happen, I was like, and then 21, I was like, I think I'm gonna die this year. I know it sounds really messed up, but it's like, that was my process. And then 22 happened. I was like, I'm still here.
Now what?
Right. It was like, now what? Like, what's and then you just see life unravel. And that's when I started realizing, okay, you literally live for today. And you learn so much each year. Each year is a testament of who you are. This was a version of you 10 years ago, but that version of you 10 years ago is still in you. There's still a bit of that in you, still there. It's just refined. It's just, more mature or whatever.
You just kind of keep building upon that.
Yeah, you just keep building.
Yeah.
And I'm learning that now. And like I said, it's still a little hard being 26. I still, I would have loved to, be in a film right now. And just seeing everyone, around my age or older or younger doing that, and they were focused. I think that bothers me some days. Like, man, I'm trying my hardest to attain this, and it just seems like it's not time yet. It's never time. And it's like, okay, when is it? 45? 50? Like, what, but I'm learning, Michaelle, whatever age that is, it will be the right age, the right time, the right moment, because there are things I'm not supposed to obtain right now because I don't understand. And if I get it too early, I can lose it right away
Or not know what to do with it.
Yes, or abuse it. And as you and I have seen, that has happened to many young adults or children. Right. And I'm learning to just every day literally be grateful where I am now. This is a good place. I am where I'm supposed to be.
Yeah. You seem to want to do this for the long haul.
Yeah.
And long haul is not 26.
No.
It could be 70 or 8. Like,
yeah.
This is like, here is your timeline. You're over here. Let's see where it goes. Yeah. So I think you have the right mindset in being where you are right now.
Yeah.
Gathering, keep honing the skills, keep gathering the experience, keep doing the auditions, keep getting these, meeting challenges. And then 5 years, 10 years from now, you're going to be at a different place in your time. Yeah. So it's really not about age.
It's not.
It's not. And, we have older actresses who are now producing. They have whole producing houses who are allowing or sort of opening the doors for younger actresses to become older and still flourish and there are roles that are constantly being written and developed for older actresses. So, and you're still a baby. Sorry, but you're still a baby.
Don't.
You're still a baby.
Okay.
No, you are. I know. You know, you're not 14, 18. You're not that anymore. But in the grand scheme of
I
life,
understand.
you're still
Yeah. My dad says that all the time. You're still a speck, Michaelle. I'm like, does it feel like it, Poppy?
Yeah.
You know, I had to live 26. So at the time I was 25.
Yeah.
Just turned 26. He was like, you know, you're only 25. I said, that's a long time. He's like, well, tell me what 74 feels like, because he's 74. And then let me know. And then I was like, oh, you know, okay.
It's true. One of my other guests, it was Sophia Poe. She said, yeah, Sophia. She was, I can't remember what episode number, but she was out a couple weeks ago, and she was talking. There are books out there about the quarter life crisis. You know, yeah, and that's like right smack dab where you are, is in that
Literally
quarter life crisis. So it's okay. It's only the first quarter that you've completed. You got 75% of your life to go.
Thank you.
Welcome. Perspective.
Yeah, you're right. No, perspective.
All right. So tell me one thing that you miss, not about high school, but about your high school self, you, Michaelle, in high school. And then tell me one thing that's gotten better since you've become an adult.
I miss the innocence of it all. I miss not paying bills. I guess I miss being a child. I miss seeing life there was a lens. And I know you know this because everyone goes through this. There's a lens that life is just brighter and magical. And then, you know, as you get older and you go through life, not saying you lose it, but it's not what it was. Think I miss that? No, I do miss that. But I know it's good. I think that's one thing that's gotten better. I've been able to just understand and enjoy that process. This is what it is, and we can still make it beautiful. Doesn't, you know, it's not a loss. And when you make it beautiful, you're just gonna do that for the generation after you. That's what I've learned. Like, whatever I'm taking now, make that beautiful for them, because someone did that for me. So let's do that for them. So that's been a blessing as I've gotten older to do that. Show them that innocence of life.
Yeah. And you can still, well, we're not, you know, as we get older, we're not innocent per se, but I think that we can hold on to that pair of glasses.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, if we like we get jaded. We're weary about, because life has happened and we have experienced that. But there is something really valuable with looking at something new with that level of innocence of, I don't know what I don't know, so let's learn a little bit. And because we have learned how to take the slings and arrows and sort of shield ourselves from that, I think as the adults now, we can more safely, emotionally, we can more safely navigate those pair of glasses, those eyes, to learn new things. And I think we learn things faster.
Oh yeah.
And with more depth than when we were like 16 and going,
exactly. And that's why I like that as an adult, you're able to, you know, when you're like 11, 12, no, when you're a teenager, you're like, oh my God, my mom's so annoying. But then when you're an adult, you realize, I know why she was annoying. She was protecting me, and she saw things pass beyond what I was saying. And you start to understand, and like you said, take it more in depth. And I like that.
Me too. But I don't like paying bills either. So. So if you could take your wisdom, your 26 quarter life wisdom, and give a piece or a couple pieces of sage advice to high school students now, what would that be?
I want every high school student to know that everything will happen at its time. There's an appointed time for everything. Like, I thought I was gonna die in my 20s, or I was supposed to be married by this age, or have this role by this age. There's a time. There's an appointed time, and nobody or anything in this world can take that away from you. It's right there for you. You're the only person that can execute it. So you don't have to stress or worry so much how or when. It's just gonna happen. I know that's easy to say, but I've caused myself a great deal of stress doing that for quite over the years. And I'm at an age, I'm just like, it'll happen when it happens. You continue to do what you have to do, but just know it'll happen at the appointed time.
I'm really glad that you said that, because as you were saying that, and I think it's very wise advice, I want to get that message across to kids with the understanding that you can't just sit back and go, oh, life's gonna happen to me.
No.
It doesn't work that way.
No, it does not.
You have to put in the work, you have to develop goals, you have to focus, you have to learn all of that. But trying to take that layer of expectation away from the work that you're doing, to know I'm doing the work, and then however my timeline lays out,
It will.
That's what it's going to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't control that, can't control it.
You can't control the encounters you're going to have. You can't control the opportunities that are going to be thrown your way. And all you can control is what you're going to do with
what you're going to do.
And when that happens, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
So we're rounding out our conversation here, circling back to now. What are 3 or so self-care practices that you do now to help you to center or to regulate yourself?
Oh, yeah, there are 3 things I do. I exercise every day. I think that's really, I know it's good. It doesn't have to be a macho workout, hour, 40 now. It could be like 5 minutes. Just run or walk, something. It really regulates the brain for some reason. It just does. Helps you hone in what you need to hone in. I pray a lot. I know people meditate. I pray. I just have that. I need to have that spiritual connection. And the last thing I do, I really limit my time on social media. I turn off all my notifications on my Instagram, TikTok, everything, because I know that social media, it can take over.
It draws you in.
It's bad. It doesn't even have to be someone commenting on your post. It could literally be a picture of someone, and maybe it's something that you wanted, or you've been aspiring to for so long, and you see it, and then you start comparing, and you're like, it just gets ugly. And it's like, you know what? Turn off all notifications, turn off everything. I don't want to see none of that. When I get on, I'll get on. I put on a timestamp as well for an hour. So when the code comes up, it kicks me off. And I know people are like, oh, Michaelle, you're better than me, or you're so disciplined. I just go right back on. And I'm just like, at some point, I'm just like, I gotta get off. My eyes hurt. I just gotta get off. So those are the 3 things I do. I exercise, pray a lot, and I stay off social media as best as I can.
Yeah.
Regulate
and it's funny because you have a really great Instagram page. You've done a lot of little comic bits and storytelling and sort of little acting exercise bits. And there was that one, the running one, where you started running, and it was when springtime happened and running in the park. It was phenomenal. I was like, yay, freedom. It was really great stuff. But I agree. I find myself, especially now during summertime, because this is being recorded in July, and I can see it's hot where you are in Atlanta.
You could tell. I just knew it.
It's like 100,000 degrees down south right now. I find myself my brain is go to your social media, post something on social media, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, you're 50 years old. Like, what do you like social
Are
media?
you really?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
don't look like it.
Yeah.
What? Hey!
Well, that's why when you talked about age and not the like the quippy, oh my God, you're so young, but age is, it's how you feel, how you present yourself, and how you take care of yourself.
Yep.
Right. So I have good genetics. Yay. My skin's, in pretty good shape and I take care of it best that I can. But it's exercise, it's that movement, it's like holding on to the innocence, it's being creative. It's all of those things that you were talking about. You just extend it every day, every year that you live. I believe you can really extend your career by years
Yeah, you can.
by just taking really good care of yourself and drinking
Oh yeah. Water. Oh man.
and sleep and doing this, like focusing on the self-care things. And that's why I asked that question at the end, because I want young people to understand that that has to be a primary focus in your life.
Oh yeah.
Taking care of yourself.
Oh yeah. Thank you. The water part too. That's part of the regimen. All the time. All the time.
Thank you, Michaelle, for sharing with us today some valuable information, a little bit about your story. It's amazing to have had a close experience many, many years ago with a kid and to see how that kid has started to blossom into their adulthood and beyond. I like staying connected. And so I appreciate you joining me today and being a part of this, whatever this podcast thing is.
Wonderful. That's what it is. I really like it.
Good. I'm glad. Join us next week for Change for the Better, the Power of Arts in Education, episode 27. Oh.